What Lonzo Thinks is a wide-ranging, free-flowing discussion where I offer my unsolicited views on everything from music, movies, politics, sports, religion, pop culture, you name it. If it's happening, I'm talking about it. My thoughts are unsolicited, nobody cares, but I care, and damn it, that's enough. Alright, and next up on my list of reviews is What Time Is It by The Time. Now, of course, I've been doing a lot of Prince reviews lately, and of course, The Time are synonymous with Prince because they were his backing band, the band that he put together. He basically wrote and produced all of the songs, especially on the first two albums. And really, listening to a Time record is you're ostensibly listening to a Prince record as well. So it's definitely something that I take a great amount of interest in. Now, the Time's initial debut album, self-titled record, The Time, was a huge hit for the group, and it really kind of threw them into the stratosphere when it comes to their place in popular R&B music at the time. They had two hits from that record, "Get It Up" and also "Cool." Now, the record only had 6 tracks on it, which is obviously back then it wasn't the norm for LP, but it wasn't something that really kind of raised eyebrows. But nowadays, if somebody releases an album with only 6 tracks, and it's called an EP and not an LP. So, it's even kind of strange now looking at it. Hey, this was an entire album back in the day, and it didn't really lend itself to much of a voice or much creativity. It's basically just a collection of songs, and that always kind of seemed kind of strange to me, especially someone as prolific as Prince when it came to writing and recording. You would think he could just vomit 6 12 songs or something like that and put together a more cohesive record. But it's neither here nor there. Forgive me, I just learned how to talk. I'm not going to stop and start over, so that's my glitch. All right. So what I'm going to do, as usual, is a brief retrospective review. I'll go through each track, offer my opinion on each song, then do a little analysis at the end and kind of move forward from there. Now, the record was released in 1982, and once again, it followed the success of their debut album. And at this time, I remember back in '82, I forget how old I was, but I think like in middle school or whatever. I was, obviously young. But I was very excited about the Time record because obviously I'm a huge Prince fan, and I really liked their first album. So I was really surprised and excited when this record got dropped. I remember buying the LP and you had Morris Day on the front cover, which is a great cover of him with a bunch of clocks in the background. And on the flip side is him in the band, and it was just a cool looking album cover that really kind of caught my eye. And the record was a huge hit on the R&B and also on the pop charts. It peaked at number 26 on the Billboard album charts, and it went to let's see here, what did it do on the it went to number 2 on the Soul album chart. So it was a huge hit. It went gold. It sold over 500,000 copies. And it had a huge hit single, of course, as well. So the record was definitely a success. And in my opinion, What Time Is It is the best of all the Time records. So what I'll do once again is just jump into my review of each song and kind of move forward from there, and we'll see where it goes. All right, first track is Wild and Loose. And this is a really catchy song. Has a nice groove to it. It's a fun song. It's a good opening track. And the first thing you hear when you put this record on is "What Time Is It?" from Morris Day, and it kind of just lets loose from there. It's a really kinetic song. It has a lot of energy behind it. I love the hook. Wild and loose. It's how it's got to be. That's the only kind of day that appeals to me. Wild and loose, only life I know. Having one big party from show to show. Really nice, and really, obviously, it's the kind of waxing on the type of girl they like. They like wild and loose girls, and of course, the band. The band itself was, the lore of the time is well documented. How they would have fun on the road, girls and everything, and it's really kind of talking about that. And obviously, kicking it with Prince, who was a freak of the week himself. So you can just imagine what these young 20-something-year-olds who are experiencing all this fame and fortune, been on the road. You got groupies in the whole nine, just throwing their panties at you everywhere you go. So, I mean, it's like you're having sex, in a different city with a different woman every night. So it's, if you're a young, rambunctious, robust young man, with all this laid out in front of you, then it's something that can definitely be intoxicating. And that's basically what Prince is talking about on this track. And of course, Prince wrote all these songs, and I also produced them under I think Jamie Starr, the Starr Company back then. So it's a really fun, kinetic song to listen to. It has a nice little interlude at the end where Morris is talking to some girls, and they're like backstage at one of their shows, and they're trying to remind Morris that, hey, we met earlier, or we talked on the phone or whatever. And Morris is like being his old dismissive self, saying, well, you should have looked the way you sound, and kind of just blows them off. So it's just a funny song, a great song, a great opening track to this record. Next up is 777-9311, which was the big hit from this record, with the number 2 on the R&B chart. It went as high as 88 on the pop chart, so it wasn't as huge of a pop hit, but it was a stone cold R&B jam though, and with a bass line to die for. This bass line, Prince, he outdid himself with his bass line, and of course, anyone who knows R&B music, who knows the time, or knows Prince, whatever, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Damn, that is just a killer riff. And the drumming, the staccato type of a drum beat, it perfectly complements the groove of the record. And of course, Morris's vocals really amplify the song as well. This is a great R&B song, a tremendous R&B song with a great hook. 777-9311. That's. I'm sure. I don't know if it was a real number or not. I know a lot of folks tried to dial that number or whatever. I think it was a real number for a minute, but a lot whoever owned that number got a lot of phone calls and had it changed or whatever. But in the annals of popular music where phone numbers are using the hook or whatever, I think the only other song I can think of that would really kind of cross into the mainstream consciousness was Jenny 8675309 by Tommy Two-Tone. But I think 777-9311 is the better of the two songs. This is a stone cold monster jam, and the song's like almost 8 minutes long, and the instrumentation is just tremendous. And I mean, there's just a long interlude or shall we break where it's just them jamming, and with just Prince and Morris, because I think Prince and Morris recorded the record together and brought the band in after, and they obviously they played the songs live on tour or whatever. But however they did it, however they put it together, whatever, it's a really strong song, not to be missed. It is the best song on this record, and it's just really fun tune to listen to, and it still holds up to this day. I still listen to it, and I am immensely entertained by the song even now. Next up is One Day I'm Gonna Be Somebody, all one word. And this is filler track. This is track number 3 on side 1 of the record, and it's definitely filler. I mean, this song is nondescript. I really don't like it that much. I don't listen to it a whole lot. The only thing I really like about this song, to be honest with you, is the very end, where they kind of like, there's like a record scratch at the end that goes, we don't like new wave. And then they start laughing. You can hear Prince in the background laughing. You hear his distinctive laugh. And he kind of goes, ha, 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 ha. I think it's kind of funny the way his he does his laugh, whatever, with the rest of the group or whatever. But that's the only thing that's really distinctive about this song is like the last 15 seconds when they do that little break at the end, and with the laughter. But other than that, I mean, it's definitely a song you can skip. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's not a bad song. It's just there. Is yeah, you would think on a song on a LP with 6 tracks, you wouldn't need filler. But even on this record, there's filler, and yeah, that's all it is. It's just filler. It's not very good filler. It's just filler. All right, enough about that shit. All right, next up is The Walk. Now, The Walk also was a huge success. It wasn't as big of a hit on the on the singles chart. I think The Walk got as high as 24 on the R&B chart, and it made it went as high as 104 on the pop chart. But that does not take away from the genius of the song. It's a really good song. Um, I like how it's just a different song, and it has like and they're using like a military type of a motif behind the song or whatever, like a concept behind it. Where I guess The Walk is more like a dance they were trying to make popular or whatever, but the hook is really good. Everybody walk your body, everybody walk you. And I like once again at the end there's an interlude where they break in and there's like a little skit at the end where Morris is with a girl and they're going inside of a party whatever, and he's trying to get her to change clothes in his car, and and I guess they're like in the front seat or whatever, and he's helping her change her clothes, and they remove her pants or underwear or whatever they were removing, and then he sees her goodies, and he's like, God damn, girl, where you get all that from? So I think it's Vanity, who's the girl who on the track with them. But the song is just a funny song. It's kinetic, a great party type of a song, and it still holds up to this day. And it's just a fun song, and I highly recommend it. It's a great song to listen to, especially when you're just kind of kicking back and just chilling or whatever, and just want to listen to something kind of crazy. The Walk is that song. All right, next up is Gigolos Get Lonely 2. Now, this was the third single from the record. So out of six songs, 3 of them got released as singles. It was a huge R&B favorite. It got as high as number 77 on the R&B chart. But that does not do this song justice, because this is a stone cold killer slow jam. And it has Prince's fingernails all over it. You can just tell this is definitely a Prince song. I would love to hear his version of it, but I like the way it starts. It's a slow build to the song, and the instrumentation is great. Morris's vocals are great on this record. He really does the song justice. And Morris can't sing. He doesn't have a good singing voice, but but he knew his limitations when it came to singing. And obviously Prince is a great producer, so he definitely put Morris in a position of success where he could definitely succeed with his limited vocal range. And the song is just a great song, great lyrics. Contrary to rumor, gigolos get lonely too. All my love, sweet stimulation, honey babe, I think that I need you. It's a deep song. It's a great slow jam, something you can definitely bust to. If you with your significant or whatever, and you want to put in some work, this is a song you can definitely put in some work to as well. And it's definitely a man song. It's a man song as far as something that guys can listen to, but like, hey, yeah, I can really identify with this song, because it's an infectious song. I guess best way I can put it. For a ballad, it's very infectious, very infectious. So do not miss it. If you never heard Gigolos Get Lonely 2, listen to it immediately. Great song. And finally, we have I Don't Want to Leave You. I don't want to go. Whoa. Can't you see I need you? Girl, I need you so. It kind of reminds me of I Don't Want to Leave You. Kind of reminds me of Wild and Loose. And just in the way that, in the feel of the song, the kinetic energy behind this particular song as well. It's a great closing song. And all these tracks are really long. I think the shortest song on this album is actually Gigolos Get Lonely 2, which is like almost 5 minutes long. I Don't Want to Leave You is almost 7 minutes long. The longest song on the record is The Walk at 9 minutes, like 9.5 minutes. So So it's a lot of fun on this record, and the songs are not short and truncated. You really get the full versions of the songs, which is even better. And I Don't Want to Leave You is, once again, it's filler, but it's good filler. Whereas One Day I'm Gonna Be Somebody is bad filler. I Don't Want to Leave You is great filler. A really good close to the record. Great instrumentation. I like the piano on this particular record as well. And once again, Morris's vocals. He once again stays in his lane. And that's one of the best things I can say about this record as on a whole is that Morris stayed in his lane, and he really it's a focused attempt by him, I think, and him kind of kind of feeling his way and becoming more confident as a singer, because legend has it that when he was pegged as the lead singer of the time, and once again Morris was a drummer, and he really didn't want to. He didn't want to sing. He didn't want to be the lead man, and he was kind of shy, couldn't dance. And Prince had to kind of convince him to do it. And Prince kind of held his hand and kind of guided him through it. And it made Morris's career. Otherwise, you never would know, he would not have had the level of success that he had, were it not for him, overcoming those fears and stepping in front and leading the band. He did a great job leading this band, and yeah, his vocal dynamics on this record, I think, are the best of any record that he did with the time, in my opinion. So there you have it. My overall analysis of the record, once again, like I said, 6 tracks, 5 of the tracks are really, really strong material. All the songs are listenable. One Day I'm Gonna Be Somebody, like I said, it's a song that really does not appeal to me, but you might like it. Once again, it's kind of sophomoric, and it really doesn't belong on this record. It's not a concept record by any stretch, but still, One Day I'm Gonna Be Somebody does not really belong on this particular record. But on the whole, What Time Is It is a great record, the best album of this in this group's catalog. So I highly recommend it. And as I always say, if an alien came to the planet and said, "Hey, tell me something about this group, The Time, what song do I need to listen to?" I definitely say you need to listen to 777, 9311, Gigolo's Lonely 2, Wild and Loose, in that order. I Don't Want to Leave You, and also The Walk, of course. This is a really fun, good album to listen to. And if you're getting into that kind of music, going back into Prince's catalog, going back into that era, it's definitely a record that kind of fits, within that space and time of the Minneapolis sound. This is definitely a Minneapolis record, and it's a really fun record, like I said. And The Time, I'm going to talk a little bit more about The Time on a different upload, a different podcast. But I have some definite thoughts about The Time that I'm going to kind of get into, and I'm going to maybe call it the conundrum. It'll be a part of my conundrum series, the conundrum of Morris Day and The Time. Because now I'll just briefly speak on this. And many people in the music, in music, have said that they had the makings of being the greatest funk band ever, and they really did. But at the same time, I think it kind of hurt them because they were kind of typecast in a manner of speaking because of the persona of the group. These guys wearing zoot suits and pompadour haircuts, and Morris being this egotistic front man with the valet and everything. It got real old real fast. It's not something that really kind of translated into a long career, so to speak, for the group, because I remember I think like back in, because this was in '82, so come 1990 when they released Pandemonium, which was their reunion album, they're still doing the same thing, still doing that same little act where Morris is the egotistic front man with Jerome his valet, and it just it's like, come on guys, it's like you're a one trick pony, do something else. And that by this time the guys are older, they're maybe in their late 20s, early 30s or whatever. I think more like early 30s, and it's like, grow up. I mean, you shouldn't be a 30 some odd year old man still doing, ain't nobody bad like me, and it really kind of pigeonholed Morris into something. I think in a way it hurt his career more than it gave him a career, but it didn't allow him to expand his career. I guess that's the best way for me to put it. And I'll get more into it on my next entry. When it comes to the time, it'll be the conundrum of the time. But I want to do the reviews first. So I'm going to review Ice Cream Castle and also Pandemonium in my little time series, so to speak. But I will definitely speak more about my thoughts on how I think the time missed out on becoming a legendary, iconic group. So, what do you think? What are your thoughts on the time? Hit me up. Let me know what you think. Twitter, at What Lonzo Thinks. Gmail, whatlonzothinks at gmail.com. I really want to know what you think about the time and their place in the pantheon of great funk, R&B music, and them being, Prince's proteges and being part of that Minneapolis sound. They're legends in that regard, and they definitely deserve the recognition that they got, and they shouldn't be forgotten for what they contributed. Maybe from really through Purple Rain, through the Ice Cream Castle record. So you're looking at basically from 81 through 84, 85, where this group was kind of like in their groove, and they really do deserve the recognition of being a major influence in popular music, R&B music, during that short window of time where they were really doing their thing, and once again with the guidance of Prince. And so, what do you think? Am I way off base? Do they suck? Did the record suck, or is it the best record ever? Tell me what you think about What Time Is It by Morris Day and The Time, or shall I say, The Time. Hit me up. Let me know what you think, because once again, I just told you what Lonzo thinks.